Hey guys, Mike Bills here with Measurable Solutions. It's about 3 o'clock. I hope you're having a great day. I hope things have kind of calmed down for you a little bit over the weekend. I know I saw a lot of chatter this weekend on Facebook and other social media places about us as PT private practice owners not getting any part of that PPP loan, paycheck protection program loan options. I see that a lot of us, it looks like we kind of got cut out of that, and whether it's because we just haven't heard from our bank yet. Keep in mind that's a possibility. The bank has gone and asked for a lump sum of money from the SBA, and now they just got word at the end of last week how much money they got. And now they're coming back and they're starting to kind of sift through all of their requests and applications and figure out, okay, who's going to get what. So if you didn't get any money yet, my advice, hang tight for a couple of days. Don't start yelling and screaming at the bank yet. Sure, give them a call. Let them know that you're there and that you're still interested. But I think that what you'll find is as we go through this week, we're going to find that more and more of us are going to be getting that loan or a portion of the loan that we had asked for as part of this, as part of this first round that's happening. And then know that it sounds like there's going to be a second round that's coming out as well. But again, I saw a lot of chatter over the weekend about people being worried and afraid and upset that they hadn't gotten anything. And I'm not saying that it's a guarantee that you will, but I think be calm and patient for a couple of days. I think you're going to find, especially if you're with a smaller bank, they've got fewer people to process things through. And I think you're going to find that as the week goes on, you might get that welcome phone call from somebody at the bank telling you that you did indeed get some money. So if that's the case, or if it turns out that you're going to have to wait for the second round to come through, I want to make sure that we're really thinking about what should we be doing right now to be running our practice as private practice owners. How do we keep the lights on? How do we keep the rent paid? How do we keep staff that we have working for us? How do we keep all those things working and happening, right? So there are a lot of things that we can be doing, and so we have to really think about what is it that we should be doing. Are you wondering, what should I be doing? How can I be keeping things active? How can I be keeping people paid? I have people that are working right now, but where's that money going to come from? And there's a very specific process that you can go through to make sure that the volume that you do today is directly proportional to and related to the number of people that you have working today, to make sure that you've got money coming in. You know that you're going to be able to pay people 2 weeks from now when payroll is due, etc. And so again, really starting to think about, do I start to cut people from being salaried to hourly? If you haven't done that already, that might be something you want to think about. How do you start to think about, okay, if I got this loan, do I really need to pay everybody? Who do I bring back first? Who do I pay? Do I have to pay everybody? Do I want to pay everybody? And so really starting to kind of think about choosing your team, right? It's kind of like when we were in elementary school or middle school and we'd all be out on the playground. Let's say we're going to play kickball or something. We'd start choosing teams and nobody wanted to be that last person left. But the reality is, if we've got a lump sum of money, whether it's our own money that we've saved or a loan that we've gotten, PPP loan or an EIDL loan, we've got to really start to think about who are the people that I want to be on my team and how do I go about choosing them now, as well as a couple of weeks from now, as well as when this whole thing is over and starts to ramp back up. I'm not going to need all 38 of my employees right away. Who are the people that I'm going to want, and how do I choose that? And I don't necessarily have to choose those people just because they've been with me the longest or I like them the most. I need to really have a system, and I need to figure that out now of how am I going to choose these people that I'm going to have right now, that I'm going to use some of this loan money that I've gotten. Because even if you've gotten the PPP loan or you get it here in the coming weeks, understand it is still a loan. Whether it's has the ability to be fully forgiven or not, you want to make sure that you are sharing that money with people that are important to you, that are going to help you to further your cause, etc. And so I just want to make sure that you're really thinking all of those staffing things through. So there's a lot of things to think about from a staffing perspective, and let's make sure that we're doing that. And then at the same point in time, in terms of running our business right now during COVID-19, we need to make sure that we're really managing our income and managing our expenses. So what are the expenses that I really need to make sure are being paid now? I need to take a close look at that. I need to make sure that I'm really taking a close look at what are we ordering? What are we spending money on? Can I defer payment on something? Things like that. And I need to make sure that that all matches up with income, because I want that to match up with the income that's coming in and make sure that I have a specific profit margin that's kept in place and that it is including my salary because I am the most important person in this clinic, in this business. If I can't pay my own mortgage, if I can't pay my own family to eat, then how am I going to be here 2 months from now? How is this business therefore going to be here 2 months from now if I'm not taking care of myself? So, we've got to think about a lot of things related to the managing the income and managing our expenses and making sure that they're not flatlined and even, but that there's got to be more income than there are expenses. And part of those expenses needs to include me and my family because those are the two things that are most important and take precedent over everything else that's happening, even to include paying the rent, etc. And so there's a specific process to go about to really figure that out, and we can talk with you about that. And then really, how do we make sure that we're planning for the future? What marketing and promotion actions should we be doing now? Should we be doing any marketing and promotion? You could argue, you know what, I'm not going to spend any money because nobody wants to come out of their house. Okay, it's a viable point, but at the same time, what about the people who are in so much discomfort that want to come out of their house? What about the people who need to know about telehealth if you're doing telehealth? Is telehealth right for you? There's a lot of marketing and promotion decisions that need to be made that will affect things right now in present time today, but also a lot of decisions that we need to be making in terms of marketing and promoting for the future, whether we open back up in 2 weeks or in 4 weeks, etc. And if you look at the news, all of a sudden we've shifted from talking about deaths and number of people diagnosed to now we're hearing about companies and places across the country and cities and towns and states where there's a lot of protests going on and things like that. I think that what we're going to see is there's going to be an increasing number of people that are looking to come out and get into a place like ours, outpatient PT, because if we can show them that it's safe and they know that it's safe and a good place to come, then all of a sudden there's some marketing and promotion things we need to be doing now so that 2 weeks from now, when some of the states start to release their guidelines and reduce some of the restrictions and people are willing to come out, we've already been promoting. And so how can we do that? How can we do that effectively? How can we do that with spending as little money as possible, but still making sure that we're getting the outcome that we want, either now while we want to fill our practice or in a couple of weeks when things start to loosen up, etc. So there's a lot of things that we should be doing right now in terms of running our practice, and I think it really comes down to those three areas. One is staffing. Who are the staff you should have? How do you choose the right staff to be on your team right now? Your team is going to look different now than it is 3 or 4 weeks from now when you start to open back up. It looks a lot different now than it did 2 months ago when everything was running and we didn't have any of these problems. The second thing is managing my income, making sure that I know exactly how much money I can forecast is coming into my practice so that I can make sure that I'm modifying my expenses and making sure that my income is always above my expenses over the course of the coming weeks so that I'm always in the plus and never in the minus. And I'm always okay to take care of myself and my family because I am the first and most important piece of this business. And then the third thing is, how do we really start to prepare to come out of this whole COVID-19? What should we be doing from a marketing and a promotion standpoint? And we really need to think about those three things. What do we need to do with all of these things? How should we be doing? What should I be doing with my office hours, with my staff? And all of this is whether you've got the PPP loan or an EIDL loan or not. Remember, you're the one on the hook for those. And so you've got to make sure that you've got a plan for how to run your business right now during COVID-19, as well as to come out of COVID-19 and be successful and be profitable and be a business that takes off and doesn't get lost and doesn't have to close because of everything that happened. So there's a lot of stuff that you can think about, and it all boils down to those three things: staffing, income and expenses, and marketing and promotion. And if we're looking at those three areas, then we're really working on making our practice run through COVID-19 and be able to come out of COVID-19, whether it's in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, for the better, because we've utilized this time, we've utilized whatever money we get from the government and off of loans, etc., and we've put it to good use because we knew what our expenses and our income was. We knew exactly what we were going to collect and what we needed to funnel off of those loans. And then we knew who the people were that we should be spending it on and the marketing and the promotion that we should be putting our attention and energy into. And we can get our whole team involved in all these things and make sure that we're coming out of this on the other side in a much better situation. So Measurable Solutions right now, we've got some webinars that we're doing on these topics. Join me every Tuesday and Thursday, kind of taking all these topics and talking about what is the most up-to-date information that's been released, as well as what are the things that you need to make sure that you're doing so that you aren't confused and worried and exhausted and tired and you just don't know what to do. So let's make sure that we help you out with that. That's what we're here for at Measurable Solutions. We're here to help you with that. You can click on the link below or above, wherever it is in this live feed. It's ptwebinars.net. Click on one of those webinars. Let's get you onto it. Let's help you to figure out what it is that you need to be doing. That's what we're here for, is we're here to help you to know exactly what should I be doing when it comes to choosing my staff. How do I make sure that I'm really managing my income and always having more money coming in than I am going out this week? And then most importantly, how do I make sure that I'm starting to promote and market? Because the way that we promote and market cannot be the same way that we were promoting and marketing before. We've got to start doing things differently. And so again, that's what Measurable Solutions is here for. How do we help you with that? Well, we help you with that by getting you onto one of these webinars and starting to give you some data so that you have an understanding of what's going on and how to make decisions so that you can be in control of what's going on. So I look forward to seeing you on one of those webinars. Reach out to me, private message me if there's any questions or anything. I'm happy to help. And I look forward to seeing you on a webinar. Take care, be healthy, and be good.